will be recorded. I know a couple people have to leave early. We do have quite a bit of other items, so those of you that do need to leave early, I would ask you to refer to the recording later on. We are going to call the meeting to order March 4th, 2021 at 2:32. The first order, we're going to approve the minutes from February 4th, 2021. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Michael.
Thank you. A second? The second to approve the minutes from February. Any member of the committee could second the approval for the minutes?
Second.
Kevin,
second.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, February, we are going to move on to new business. I am going to do the items that are at the end of our new business list first upon request from faculty that has to leave. We are going to have, I need a motion to approve items 21-55 through 21-59, which are revisions in social and behavioral sciences. Can I have a motion to approve?
Moved, Michael.
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. So these items 21-55 is a revision of the if you guys just stay muted until you need to voice because there's a lot of interference going on. If you guys could stay muted. Okay. So we have items 21-55, which is a revised curriculum of the philosophy and logic AA degree, 21-56, revised curriculum of the psychology AA degree, 21-57, a revised curriculum of the sociology AA degree. We have an inactive curriculum. The anthropology AS degree is going to be inactivated. That's item 21-58. That is effective in fall. And then we have new curriculum, item 21-59, U224A31, which is anthropology AA degree. So what's happening with those last two items, 21-58 is going to be inactivated. The AS, anthropology, and item 21-59, it's turning into an AA degree, effective in the fall. Does anyone have questions on those? And Daniele is here to answer any questions, or if I left anything out, Daniele. On the PowerPoint, you will see it is the last items in each one of these lists.
Julianne, you didn't leave anything out, and I just want to thank you and the committee for changing the schedule for me. I very much appreciate it.
Sure. Does anyone have any comments and questions? We didn't have many switches from AS to AA, but upon review of the curriculum, in collaboration with Daniele, obviously, the mapping committee and Daniele felt that anthropology was better as an AA degree rather than an AS, and that looks like it puts it in line with all the other AA degrees that are being revised today.
I just want to mention that this is a internal designation, so then therefore the paperwork to ICCB this day is not necessary.
Thank you. And I believe, Daniele, you are going to work with, we looked it up, 9 students that are in the AS and determine if they want to finish the AS or if they want to move into the AA. Is that correct?
That's correct. There are 9 students currently enrolled. We will have to verify of these 9 students, how many are actually still actively pursuing their degree at Triton. Hopefully that will be an opportunity also to bring them back into the school if they decided to take a semester off. And then we will ask them if they want to conclude the AS or they want to switch to the AA. Most likely that will be decided on the number of credits that they have in math and life sciences versus humanities and social behavioral sciences. And I just wanted to add that the rationale to move the curriculum from AS to AA is that when our students who graduate with a concentration in anthropology from Triton transfer to a 4-year program, they usually transfer to, the committee actually told us, the pathway committee told us that they transfer to BA degrees, not to BS degrees. And so we would do a disservice to them if we weren't trying to align our credit offering with the transfer school.
Thank you. Kevin?
Yes, thank you, Daniele. Great point. To extend on Daniele's point, I think that internally we should leave the AS active for another year because some students that have been accumulating the AS credit in this area concentrations, they should not be penalized. I think we should still let those that are close to finish line be able to obtain the AS.
Yes, we're not, when we inactivate it, it will not allow any new students in the AS, but it will allow the students who are in the AS currently to finish.
Excellent, thank you.
Mm-hmm. William? Oh no, Susan, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got called
Sue?
a lot of names, but not William. Thanks very much.
No,
Okay.
I thought he had his hand up. He must have just came in. When I looked at my screen, his name popped up. Go ahead, Sue.
I just want to make sure that there is an end date to continuing that AS. I don't want it linger. I don't think it should linger on for forever. So I'm in support of continuing it, but let's get an end date of when that AS will continue to be offered too.
Thank you. And Daniele, if you could check with those students and see how long you think they need. And then maybe you could just report back to us at one of the meetings this year in either April or May with an update. I would encourage all chairs and coordinators, if you have an inactive program, to make sure that, once those students are taken care of, whether they complete or transfer, that you look at them and make sure you bring them back to the committee to delete in the future. Any other comments on items 21-55 through 21-59? I should mention that the other revised curriculums in this area, philosophy, psychology, and sociology, were revised to update to the guided mapping. That's what the primary revisions were. And Denise, do you have a comment or question?
Yeah, I just have one question, not so much in regards to this particular one that Daniele was just referring to, but just in general. Has there ever been a situation where a program was inactive, but it was for a certain time period and became back active, or is normally the practice we inactivate it, let the students complete, and then it's deleted? I was just curious.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a great question. We're actually reactivating a curriculum this month. And I actually reactivated one of my curriculum I believe it was last year. My rationale for doing so was that I had inactivated 3 curriculum. I realized that one was still viable. I had discussion with the VP, members of my department. We revised it and then reactivated it. And so you can reactivate it, again, with rationale, with consensus and collaboration within the department. That is possible. Thank you. That was a great question. Anybody else? All right. So for items 21.
Just one last question then to that point. Thank you. So is there a practice to be then that in order for it to be reactivated, that once you establish this end date, to be I know, I'm just trying to go along with what Sue was saying with, it doesn't need to linger. And I understand that. So I'm just wondering if it doesn't need to linger and a date has been established, does someone have the option to reactivate it after this date and then it's to be deleted, or you have to reactivate within that time frame, or is this new?
I think Susie has her hand up. I think it's within a certain time period you have to reactivate. Otherwise, you should delete. Susie, is that what you were going to comment on?
Yes, at Triton, they decided not longer than 3 years for an activation, whereas the state gives you up to 10, but Triton would like a decision after 3 years of an activation.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we're going to vote on item 21-55 through 21-59. All in favor, please raise your hand. You can lower your hands. So everyone, you can lower your hands. And is there any opposed? Raise your hand if it's opposed. Okay, these items have passed. Thank you, Daniele. We are going to move on to item the beginning now, item 21-35 through 21-41. These are automotive curriculum and courses. On the screen in front of you, Susie, I'm going to mute you because we have an echo. We have an echo going on between you and me. Okay, so item 21-35 is C447G. It is CVT break and suspension certificate. That is a revised curriculum. We also have a new curriculum, item 21-36, C447H, truck engine repair certificate. It is 16 credit hours and 5 courses. That's a new curriculum, new program. And then we have a few revised courses. I'll go to the next page here. We have items 21-37, a revision of Auto 120, 21-38, revision of Auto 135, 21-39, revision of Auto 140, 21-40, Auto 145 revision, and then a new course, 21-41, Auto 155. Can I have a motion to approve these items?
So moved.
Motion to approve, second.
We need a motion from the committee to approve.
This is Michael. Motion to approve.
And second?
Glenn.
Glenn, thank you. So we are going to now just discuss these items for a moment. Gary is here to present them. They have some title changes on the curriculum and the courses. Just so everyone knows, I'm going to go back to the curriculum slide here. Under this new program, we have right here, truck engine repair certificate. And then under, excuse me, the revised, we have this title change. CVT is changing to truck brake and suspension certificate. Gary, would you like to comment on these or the courses, please?
Sorry about that. Yes, this is a very exciting new program. This program differs from our cars because we're talking about commercial vehicles. So Class 8 trucks all the way down through Class 5 trucks. So the demand for mechanics is through the roof, and the union actually even stopped by this morning and I spoke with them. They're very supportive of our program. Does anybody have any questions for me?
And I want to make sure everyone is paying attention to the title changes of both the courses and I believe that revised curriculum as well. We're getting rid of, if my understanding from reading this, we're getting rid of CVT and it is changing to names where the individual would know for sure that it is truck related.
That is correct. So the advisory meeting voted on And I don't have their name written down in front of me, but I think it's something like commercial vehicle trucking, but I don't remember what it was. I should have had it here. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. And you can see on the screen too, the new course is truck engine power plants. The new course is in the new certificate for truck engine repair. And then the rest of these course revisions, they are as well in either the new or the revised curriculum. Does anyone have questions?
Julianne, I just wanted to confirm that your statement was absolutely true. And based on the advisory committee, the CVT language is being removed and the word truck or diesel is going to be replacing those. So it is clear exactly what you said, that it's not for cars, but trucks.
Thank you. I would have not known what CVT was personally if I would have read that somewhere, but now it seems to be a little bit more clear. Thank you. Any other questions on these curriculum or courses? Okay, we're going to vote on items 21-35 through 21-41. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, we can lower our hands. Is any opposed? Item 21-35 through 21-41 has been approved. We are going to now have a motion to approve item 21-42 through 21-46, which are CIS curriculum. Can I please have a motion to approve?
So moved, Michael.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
Glenn, second. Thank you. We have an inactive curriculum, C407T, which is inactivated mobile web and data science certificate is being inactivated. And then we have 4 courses, CIS courses. Item 21-43 is CIS 120, 21-44 CIS 189, 21-45 CIS 214, and 21-46 CIS 262. These are being updated and revised to adhere to the new Triton College learning outcomes, as well as I think a couple of other minor revisions in the courses, and Michael is here to present them. Does anyone have questions? No questions for Michael on these? Then we will vote. So item 21-42 through 21-46, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, we can lower our hands. Any opposed? Jennifer, did you have a comment or question? No? Okay, any opposed? Okay, those items 21-42 through 21-46 have passed. I forgot to thank Gary preceding this, but thank you, Gary, for bringing your curriculum, and Michael, same with you. Thank you for bringing your curriculum and remaining, getting closer, you know, for all your courses to being up to date. I know that was a lot of work for you. Thank you. We are going to now move on. Can I have a motion to approve item 21-47? Which is a mathematics revised curriculum. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
Glenn, thank you. We have revised curriculum U230A27, mathematics AS degree. I believe Beth is here to present this. Anyone have questions on this? Was this for the guided program mapping, Beth?
Yes, it was.
Still 60 credit hours. Any questions for her? Okay, all in favor of item 2147, the revised curriculum for mathematics, please raise your hand. Susie, do we have enough? There's a couple members not voting, but do we have enough, Susie? We should now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So lower your hands. Any opposed to the revision? Kevin, did you have a comment?
No,
Okay,
sorry.
any opposed for 21-47? All right, that item has passed. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are going to move on to item 21-48 through 21-54. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. Item 21-48 through 21-54 are revised curriculum. Looks like 5 revised curriculum, 1 new curriculum, and 1 reactivated curriculum. I'm not sure if Christopher is here.
I didn't see him on the list, but I am. If needed, I can answer something or get an answer.
Okay. So we have, I'm going to go through each one very quickly. 21-48 is C201A, revised horticulture AAS degree. 21-49 is C201E, revised sustainable agriculture technology AAS. 21-50, revised curriculum of C401C, HRT ground maintenance certificate. 21-51, reactivated C401E, Sustainable Food Production Certificate. 21-52 is C40G, Pesticide Applicator Revised Curriculum. 21-53, C401H, HRT Greenhouse Certificate Revised Curriculum. And then the new curriculum is 21-54, C401I, which is Sustainable Agriculture Certificate, and it will be 30 credit hours. Any comments or questions on the horticulture curriculum? Okay. So we're voting on items 21-48 through 21-54. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. You can lower your hands. Any opposed? Okay, those items have passed. Thank you. We are going to move on to our many other items that we have. First, as I always do, I have a list of curriculum that has not gone to, a list of course outlines that have not gone to curriculum in a while. We haven't changed any of these lately. However, it's my understanding that none of them are currently being offered. Look at the schedules for the department chairs and coordinators, or perhaps the deans could let the department chairs and coordinators know that these should not be on the schedule for summer or fall until they're updated. We did check on them for this spring. Okay. There's no comments on that. We will move to our other items. We have a lot of other items. I have a slide for each one of them. Some will go quickly and others may take a little bit of discussion. So the first other item we're going to go over, college curriculum forms to be submitted through the College Curriculum Committee. Just so everyone is aware, and I know, I'm pretty sure that most members of the TRC, the Curriculum Committee, the deans, you all know this, that these forms, the program forms, the curriculum proposal, the curriculum map, the mapping rubric, the program assessment, Susie is working on combining all of these forms so there's only one document. So they're all attached to one document, the curriculum proposal, the map. People get confused between the curriculum map, which is the course listings, and then the assessment map. There's 2 different maps attached. And then that mapping rubric will be included in that packet. So we're getting to the point, we're working toward it, I should say, that will be one form. Currently, the curriculum proposal is separate. than the assessment forms or the curriculum mapping forms, but we're updating all that. That needs to be sent through the college curriculum committee clearly. Course proposals, same thing. They have to be approved by the college curriculum committee. If it's II, it has to have an updated syllabus with the course outline. And then finally, if it is an II class, the departments should know when that date is up for them to bring the course through curriculum. And then once it's approved through curriculum, we will send it to the state. No one should be sending any II syllabus or II course outlines to the state without it coming through the curriculum committee first. So if the deans could remind those faculty that might not know that, these are the things that need to come through curriculum. We can't send anything directly to the state. Any comments or questions on that? Or Susie, did you have anything else to add?
No, well, yes, if there's any questions regarding the submission, to contact me, so there's one person that's actually contacting the IEI.
Okay. Anything else on that topic? Anyone have comments or questions? Okay, this is another other item, notification to departments affected by course or program changes. If you have a course revision or a curriculum revision that has another department's course, if it's a curriculum and it has another department's course in your curriculum, or if you have a course that's changing that's in another department's curriculum, you should be communicating with that department to ensure they know of the change. This has implications in a couple of different ways. I recently revised one of my courses in HTH, changing it from 2 to 1 credit hours. I needed to contact every department that had curriculum with that HTH course in it, so that we could make up for that 1 hour difference. And I worked with them to do that. So if I didn't do that and I changed my course down to 1 credit hour and didn't let anybody else know, all their degrees would have gone down by 1. Susie has a way with her system to alert her which program your particular course might be in. So I actually contacted Susie and said, you know, what curriculums is this class in so I can work with them. Make sure that's done. The other thing would be is if you have a new curriculum and you're deciding to put some courses in it that aren't in your particular program, that you feel might have a large amount of students needing, you should probably contact that department to alert them to that so that they have enough sections to accommodate those students. Those are the 2 scenarios that are probably most common, but there could be more, but just make sure you know whose courses are in your curriculum, and the same thing. Your course might be in someone else's curriculum. Just maintain communications. Is there any other comments on that? I think pay special attention if you're creating a new curriculum and you're adding someone else's course, because that might have a few more students needing that class, so we got to make sure enough enrollment is available. Okay, we'll go on to the next item. I wanted to update everyone on that Rhetoric 101 placement. We as a committee, we reviewed courses that had Rhetoric 101 placement as a prerequisite. And the department chairs and coordinators reviewed the courses that they had in their department with this prereq. About 71 courses were reviewed. Just to report back on those, math and MCM removed the prereq completely, or that portion of the prereq. Other courses that reviewed their prereq kept that and provided evidence and rationale to keep Rhetoric 101 placement. And I believe 1 course was deleted, as you can see here, and 1 course is still being held for review. I don't believe that BIS 200 is offered this spring, but it should be reviewed prior to next time it's being offered. So that's the update on where we ended up after this review. comments on this or questions? Okay, we will move on to the next item. Hopefully I can remember all of this one. Okay, so by now you should all know about the MC Career Coach. It is a website that I've showed you in the past. I don't know if I should show it to you again. It will take me 1 second to bring it up. The website for this MC, give me 1 second. This Career Coach website, and I'm hoping I'm explaining this correctly. I'm going to share my screen. It is essentially an outside website held by this MC, and students could browse for particular programs. It is essentially this external website it's on, the link for it is on our website. That's how I found it. I went through Triton College, I went in the search bar, typed career coach, and it popped up. Once you're in this website, it gives you different, I'm just going to one I'm familiar with, different professions, and you can click on this. Why is it not letting me click on it? Maybe I'm in the wrong area. Oh, it's just going slow. You can click on this and learn, obviously the students and potential community members could learn about programs we have. This website then is being run by this MC site, I should say. Once you click on view program info, it brings you to our catalog page. And that's the key point here, is individuals in the community or students could search this career coach, but as soon as they click view program info, it brings them to Triton College's webpage, the catalog. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but what I wanted to alert everyone to is that changes to curriculum will need to be communicated to this MC corporation that kind of houses that external website. Now, what is going to happen is any new programs or any programs that are deleted, we would need to alert that MC website. Susie is going to do that, I believe, with an Excel spreadsheet. There was 2 ways to do it. You could do it with an Excel spreadsheet, or you can do it on their site, but we would need to be trained on how to do that. So Susie has volunteered to do the updates with any new curriculum or any deleted curriculum. Once there is a new curriculum or deleted curriculum on their page, that button pops up, view program info, and as soon as you click on that, it brings you to Triton College's catalog page. So we don't have to make changes on this MC if it's just course changes. It's only to alert them we have a new program or we're getting rid of a program. So the curriculum committee will work with Susie to make sure the programs that are being new are added to it, that are being deleted are taken off of that. Right now, not all the Triton College programs are listed on this website. I wanted to ask the committee their feedback. Should every program that Triton has be on the Career Coach website? And I don't know the reasons for them not being on there, so don't ask me this. This is brand new. I don't know why they would be left off. I know that several of mine were left off, and I'm going to work with going through Kevin, but asking Susie to add them as long as that Kevin is okay with that. So think about it. Perhaps you should check the website to see if your program's on it. If not, talk with your dean, and then we would have to notify Susie. What are your thoughts on this? Denise?
Hi. Initially, when we were creating Career Coach, it was based off of areas of study to then narrow down to programs. I think at the time we used a a broader term for the programs that then maybe certificates fell under within a certain program. So that could be the reason why you didn't see every program. But I know initially when this was created and we gave them information, it was based off of first trying to narrow it down by area study, and then within that area study, the programs that was listed under it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Paul?
Yeah, thanks, Denise, for that explanation. We also have community members and folks that are outside of their regular career credit path that are using MC at the college. So I think we're going to want to list anything that is a program, whether it's credit or non-credit. If it's vocational, we're going to have people coming to the college to find information about it.
Yes. Right, right. So again, I'm just ascertaining if, and thank you, Denise and Paul, I'm just ascertaining if we think as a committee or members that are present today that all the programs should be listed on MC. I know, Paul, I agree with you. I believe all the programs should be on there. I view this tool as more valuable to people who are not Triton students, but who potentially are looking for some training or to start their education, that they may be directed to this to see what we have. I think that this is a great way to capture new student enrollment. Paul, did you want to comment again before I move? I think Denise and Kevin also have their hands up, but I'll go with Paul first.
No, I think you stated correctly. We have a lot of resources for folks that are on campus and a lot of ways of getting people that information and reinforcing it. MC is an excellent resource, and we are using it for outreach purposes already today. We talk to folks in the high school about it. We talk to people that are out in the community about it. We talk to folks even when we're out speaking with businesses that they can come in and use this. So everything that we can put into it that will help people understand the resources that they can find at the college, I just think it's an excellent opportunity for us to load that information in there and help people find what they come to look for at the college.
Thank you. Okay, and Denise?
I was going to say in regards to MC for advising and underguided pathways, this tool was picked to help with students to clarify that path. So mainly working with our students who are undecided and trying to help them narrow down a program that best suits what their educational, endeavor was going to be. So that is what we're using it for. But I also agree with the other suggestions that we can really maximize this tool.
Thank you for that input. I appreciate that for someone who's already using it. Okay, thank you. And Kevin, do you have a comment on it?
Yeah, just some background information. Obviously, the tool is being funded by Title V. We actually have a multi-year contract with them till the end of Title V. So the board actually approved the multi-year contract recently. But I also want to highlight the context, the background in terms of which programs are being featured. So through the work of Guided Pathway, all the deans went and attend meetings. I think right now, what we're showing here is the decisions of the division deans. So if you see that if you missing certain program, anyone, please work through your deans and then the curriculum committee to add those. And additionally, not only that we're putting that tool on the website for folks to utilize, we're actually a lot more proactive than that. Thank you to Jenny Giogreco. She actually being very proactive. She's revised CON 102 curriculum to embed this tool in our formal curriculum.
Thank you. That's good to know. And I think the best way to go about making sure your curriculum is listed, and the deans could please tell this to the coordinators and chairs, as well as members of the committee, if you are speaking with coordinators and chairs, they should check to make sure their curriculum is on there. If it is not, then just work with the dean, and you could then alert both Susie and I with an email. We will check on that for you if your program is not there and you feel it should be added. So take some time over the next few weeks and just browse through that, make sure it looks good. If there's issues, let us know. As soon as you click that view program info page, it directs you to Triton's catalog. And so that will be upkept just as any Triton catalog has always been upkept, and we wouldn't have to worry about changing a course. We really just need to update, we really just need to update the new or deleted curriculum. Okay, any other comments or questions on MC? Okay, this just to if there is a new department created at Triton College, it needs to be communicated campus-wide. This is probably rare, but it did happen. A department with a new prefix was created. I don't think many people knew of it. The curriculum office did not know of it. So the SPT, which is sterile processing, was put under SRT because at the time when SPT was developed, there was not a sterile processing department. So it ended up going under the wrong prefix. And if there is a new particular company, a new department, now I'm getting flustered here. If there is a new department made, make sure the curriculum office and other areas of the college know that. I don't know if that's going to ever happen again, but I'm just putting it out there, okay? Any comments or questions on that? Nothing? Sue?
So this is kind of like that, but not really, and I'm just putting that out there. So the DMS program has a vascular certificate, but they are all under the DMS acronym. But it is a separate certificate aside from the degree. So I don't think that falls in this category, but I'm just throwing that out there so you know.
Thank you. And if you do see something wrong, if it's listed wrong, but we want to correct the problems before. We want to be proactive and not let it become a problem. So communication ahead of time would be best, especially with curriculum, making sure that we have it under the correct prefix. Okay. Next, we have all course learning outcomes should be included on the syllabus. Okay, so this would be the larger ones that have, if your course outline has like 20 outcomes, okay, just give me a second. If the course outline has like 20 outcomes, they all need to be on your syllabus so that students know what they're expected to be learning, so that the instructors know they need to cover all of that material. This is a board policy that all learning outcomes should be on the syllabus. And so Sue is saying topical learning outcomes, but I'm gonna have Sue comment on this for a moment.
I was just clarifying what it's called on the course outline. There's topical learning outcomes, and there's also an overall learning outcome. The overall learning outcome is like a 2-sentence synopsis about what the class will entail when they complete it. That's not very helpful for the student, but by listing all the learning outcomes, that allows the student to know what's the expectation as far as a level of rigor they should know material. Are they going to have to list it, or are they going to have to analyze, compare, and describe and discuss? You study a little bit differently, and the level of learning is a little bit different. It's a way for the student to keep track of where they're at in the course, how to study for the course. It also can guide the faculty lectures or presentations to say, this is what we're covering in the course. It's also what we send to the ICCB that says this is what we're covering in the course. So there are strong reasons why that's included on the syllabus. It's all about supporting the student and their success, and that will help them greatly. The 2-sentence description I don't think helps a student very much. So I would just say that those should all be included. That's the expectation. I understand that maybe some people had a different interpretation of that, but going forward, all departments, all divisions, all syllabi should have those included. And if larger departments that have maybe a departmental syllabus, if that's put on there ahead of time, that can help out your adjuncts greatly so that they have those then. Certainly, if those are changed or updated, then the syllabus has to change as well, because that's a living document, the syllabus. I don't know if anybody has any questions about that.
Michael?
I just want to point out that the CTE has the syllabus the sample syllabus that passed Senate and went to the board through the Academic Standards Committee is on the CTE and can be used as does not have to be used, but I'm using it, can be used as a template, which makes things, for me, it made things easier. Again, I'm not saying, I realize people may have different ways they want to do it. It might not make sense to do it just the way that the sample has it, but that is one option if you want to make sure you're following all board policies.
Michael, is that, are those course outlines on that correctly?
I don't understand the question, Sue. I'm sorry.
Does that template that you're recommending or referring to, does that have including course outcomes on there?
Well, I don't, we have all these terms. It has course. Are you saying, are you wanting the weekly?
Yes. So there's 2 phrases on a course outline. It's called overall learning outcomes and then topical learning outcomes. So the overall learning outcomes is, upon completion of this class, the student will be able to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about putting on the syllabus.
Okay. Then I think
what we're talking about putting on, describe how to put a period at the end of the sentence. Describe how to indent when you start a new paragraph. Sorry, I'm putting it to rhetoric. So those kind of very specific things. Because if I'm going to describe, I got to know a little bit more than just list. Or demonstrate if it's a lab. So all of those should be listed, whether it's a lab or lecture.
Well, it's always been my understanding that those are guidelines, that no one has to take the topical outlines and say it's week 3, so we're doing this week.
Correct. But by the end of the course, they should be completing all those things.
Got it.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
All right. I would say that no, that is not on there. So perhaps we need to talk to the. I do not think that would be clear to. If it's not clear to me, I have to believe it, which it was not. I think it would be unclear to a lot of people. So perhaps that needs to be looked at, because
okay,
I don't understand.
I will clarify that with Shelley. Okay. I know the deans are going to be talking about this with their faculty at their department meetings or whatever meetings you all have. But yeah, that is the expectation. Those very specific, I don't want to say the word objectives because we're using the word outcomes. And actually the board policy only calls them course outlines. Excuse me, course outcomes. So I guess we could correct the board policy and say topical learning outcomes, and that would be very specific then.
Yeah, I think that's if that's what the board is looking for, I think that needs to be said specifically, because like I said, I had no idea I was supposed to have those on mine, and I'm I'm chair of Senate. Yeah, all this I had no idea all that had to be on the syllabus. So
yeah,
that
was
probably a project to get those on.
Pulling this up so you guys could see what we're talking about. Sorry to interrupt you, Michael.
And I'll just tell you, it's very easy to cut and paste that off of that top outline. It's not very hard to do this at all. So.
Right, we are, just so everyone knows, we are talking about the ones in this column here, okay? once you put them, it is so helpful to have them on your syllabus. Clearly, the topics are there, but then what the students should know about these on the syllabus. I also want to add in that I believe that, I'm going to stop sharing now, that I believe that they should be in your online class as well. So if you're teaching an online class and you have, say, learning modules, it would be a good idea to have that learning outcome on that Blackboard so that the student knows what they're to learn while they're in Blackboard. I do that with my my online classes, but also I copy and paste it right from the course outline into the syllabus. Is there
It looks
any
like
other?
Shelley's got some information for us, Julianne.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I think Shelley's got some information for us. Was she?
Oh,
Shelley?
yeah, hi. No, just a quick comment. I was just going to mention that the template, the CTE is just hosting the template as requested by the Academic Scholastic ESSC committee. So if any changes are needed, and I think it's absolutely, it's a good idea to discuss if we need any changes, that we should do that with Beth. And I think Beth is here, right? Okay, I don't see her, but just, yeah, just a note that we were asked to host place the syllabus template on the CT portal page. Well, we did not make decision. This really came from the Senate committee.
Yes.
Yes, that is absolutely true. That did come from the Senate committee now, but the Senate committee, what the Senate voted on is what the CTE has. So again, if I think that there is something that is not specifically asked for on that, it probably has to be added and the word has to be put out. I think, I think this has to go beyond this meeting. We would, because again, it doesn't say topical outline on that, and it didn't on what passed Senate. So I would be real surprised if I'm the only one who didn't understand. I thought I was doing it right. So I would be real surprised if there aren't lots of people who did not know that. We thought we saw course outline on our curriculum. We put it on there, and then that was it.
Thank you, Michael. Well, Latrice, please.
Yeah, my computer kind of froze and I had to go back in, so I'm not certain where you guys at in that discussion. But I'm looking at the CTE example for the syllabus, and it's on the outline that it does say all topical and learning outcomes from the course must be added.
I am here. Can you see my screen now? I have this on the Blackboard course for the curriculum committee as well. So I pulled this up. I do believe it's the latest one that should be housed in CTE. This is the course syllabus template that we are referring to. Michael has brought this up. Shelley, does this look like the same one that you have?
I was actually using a sample syllabus, Julianne, not this. I didn't even know this was there. There's a sample syllabus, and I just filled it in. I just made a copy and then filled my information in on it and left it at that pretty much. I mean, I did like anyone would. I did a little rearranging. It's things where I want this here and I want this there, but I basically filled in all the blanks that said required, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. Well, we have been as a committee discussing this for not diving into it deep, but definitely discussing should the syllabus and the course outline be the same document. We've been, briefly discussing these, I feel like for the last couple of years, but we've never made a formal decision on that. But as you see with that example I gave you, they look very similar. Almost everything on the course outline should be on the syllabus. What I tell people when they ask for a syllabus from me, I typically give them the course outline and say it's a glorified syllabus. It has a little bit more information than what a syllabus would have, but in my opinion, everything on my course outline is on the syllabus.
Julianne, you pulled it off quickly, but I think the language on there, I believe it refers to goals on that form you just showed.
Yeah, I think we should update that. Do you want me to show it again?
Not the language that's on the course outline currently. So when we did assessment, we added assessment to these forms. We played with the language of learning goals, learning outcomes, and objectives. And I don't think that whatever we decided, which was basically outcomes, is reflected on that form you just showed. So I would encourage that, Shelley, whatever you have posted in the CTE, as well as Julianne, whatever you're showing here, either we get one form and it's posted universally, or we agree on the language or use the language that's currently on our course outline forms to make it easy for everybody. So we're not calling it different things.
Yes.
Really agree with that. I think that one confusion we have, when people ask me, does this have to be on my syllabus? I got to look it up, you know, because we've changed terminology so often, which, you know, that we're not always, I don't think we're always on the same page with what things are called.
Yeah, they're learning outcomes. I know that, you know, when we have updated processes, we change the language that they will all be, you know, called learning outcomes. So that's what we want to move forward with, that terminology. What I can say is I believe that we all see the value of including them. So that students know, as well as the faculty, and the adjunct faculty as well. You may hire someone new, and this will guide them into knowing, you know, what the outcome is for the student at the end of that particular topic. Are there any other comments on this? So Jill is saying her syllabus is 9 pages long. My syllabus, if anyone would like to see it, is approximately 20 pages, but it details everything. Could be a textbook.
You know,
any other comments?
I'm just going to say, you know, gen ed students students that are in their major, you know, that's one thing, but gen ed students probably aren't reading all that or listening while you're reading it. But yeah, I see the value of it too, of having a record like that. But I don't know that a gen ed student taking a course is going to read or pay attention while you read a 20-page syllabus. And I do worry about that. That was one of the worries I brought up in Senate. But I see both sides of it. No question. I more than once have been in situations where it's been very good to have a syllabus that very clearly says, well, this is what we said, you know, particularly if somebody's unhappy about something. So I get it.
And I have to say that the one reason mine is so long is that I have a separate page of rubric for every assignment, so that the student knows exactly how they will be graded per each assignment. So it's not just text, you know, word after word after word, but also that rubric, and the rubric tables take up a lot of room as well. But the rubrics, as well as the learning outcomes, I think are beneficial for the student to see. So let me see if there's any other comments in the chat room, or if anyone else. The longer you teach, the more specific you get. So by the time I retire, mine will be 50 pages long. No, I'm just kidding.
That's true.
Okay, we'll move on, if there's nothing else on that, to the last item, the last other item, which is the curriculum mapping template. As you know, many many curriculum have been coming through the curriculum committee. Few came last fall. Several came this month, several came in February, with these new maps that show the student what class they should take in what semester. There has been some updates to the template within the last couple of weeks. I have the templates to show you, and I believe someone from the steering committee, we've invited them to come here today to help guide us with what these maps will look like. The map for the AA compared to the AS compared to the AAS, which those are the three I have right now, do look slightly different. I haven't gotten the map for the certificate or GECC yet. But what I can do is I want you as a group here today to look at each of these maps, and I could toggle between them as needed. And Shelley, do you or someone for committee want to discuss these?
I'm going to ask the mapping committee chairs to elaborate. So I know we have Kayla and Nellie, if any one of them would like to share the details.
And just so I don't interrupt once you guys start talking, if you need me to share the AS or the AAS, or move my screen, please let me know. This is
Yes.
the AA.
Yeah, so basically we created templates based on the guiding principles that we mentioned around the work for Pillar 1 and the purpose of, having a lot of just things in unison to what the research shows that students need to know regarding their mapping, their transfer guide, right, or their guide. It doesn't have to be a transfer guide. We're doing this not only for the AA or the AS, but also the AASs and certificates. Where they differ a little more is that the AA and the AS do have a transfer focus. And we did some research along the way. Well, you know how those were created because we've already met with most of you, but the research was really just to modify them based on what's currently in the catalog. For the AASs and the certificates, we were really trying to identify how we can stack credentials so that students can get more out of their experience. And we did learn that a lot of program coordinators already talk to students about how certificates stack. So it's just more a matter of putting it on paper. So some other things you can see on the AA, for example, it starts off with, oh, no, that's okay. It starts off with the placement for English and math. And the reason why this box is so important is because sometimes students don't, they look at the map and they're like, well, where do I fit in? We know that a lot of our students do fall into the developmental education coursework. And so that is the rationale as to why that box is up there with courses that they can potentially start in. You'll notice that the math sequence is going to be different, and it really does depend on the associate in arts or science degree math requirement. If we scroll down, you can see that each semester has a list of the courses required along with the category that fulfills the general education requirement and next steps. So the next steps is something that we're still modifying. In fact, we're working with career services on including either an additional subset of steps or modify what we currently have. We have discovered in meeting with a lot of the associate and applied science degrees that these next steps need to look different because some of the majors have admissions requirements or other things that students need to be aware of early on in the process. And you can see some of the program electives have been prescribed, and this was based on the discretion of the department when we had our meetings. But right now you're seeing something that is very general and very broad. And so way at the bottom under program electives is where we can really prescribe, what courses students can choose from. Again, being mindful that they are often taught or that there is research that these are classes that are needed for the particular major that they are pursuing if we're talking about a transfer degree. Some of the most recent changes have been mostly pertaining to what the language around the developmental education courses, indicating that those are not transferable. Because that's sometimes something that students may not know. Also, just the language around whether they meet with an advisor or a program coordinator, we're finding that some departments prefer that it's one or the other. So again, this is mostly with the AAS and the certificates. Kayla, Shelley, did I miss anything?
I just wanted you to talk about the footnotes. That's the last part down here.
Yeah.
And there's only one other page, but then I'll go to the next.
Yeah. So for the footnotes, some of these will indicate whether a course is IAI and transferable, and they'll also mention, meet with your advisor, because we don't want to dismiss the fact that just because a course is not IAI, it does not mean that it doesn't transfer. We know that there has been a lot of documentation on Susie's part to identify some other courses that are transferable, even if they don't have an IAI designation. We also indicate things such as foreign language. Most institutions still want a foreign language requirement, especially if the student is pursuing a Bachelor of Arts degree. But again, that's something that they really need to sit down and discuss with their advisor, because it is on an institution by institution basis. Something else that is brought up in the footnotes is the human diversity requirement, and for the associate in science degree, something that is different is the fact that the social behavioral science has to, students have to pick from at least more than one different category, or all three can't be the same, or all two can't be the same. They have to be, different courses. And let me see if I'm missing anything else. The footnotes do look different, just based on the major, but those are some of the things that are really highlighted in the footnotes. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Okay, and here's the AS. I feel like the deans and the chairs and the committee members that are here today probably have the gen eds memorized, but I'm not assuming that for all faculty. So if they're working on creating this map, these footnotes are good, because it will tell you have to include these gen ed classes and how many of them, because it is different for AA and AS. So the footnotes will guide the individual and the student but the faculty member when they're creating this. So we're hoping to have these templates available for new curriculum in the future, but also for those people that have not completed their program mapping yet. So that was the AA and the AS. I am going to show the AAS now. There was two things I wanted to comment on before I
Julianne, if you're still talking, we can't hear you.
It looks like she's reconnecting.
Thank you.
Julianne's still trying to reconnect. Anyone still there?
I'm
Still
here.
Still here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
Just don't have our leader.
Okay, I have Julianne on my phone, and I'm going to put her up to my computer so you can hear her in the meantime. She had some comments to make, everybody. All right, Julianne, go for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to reconnect. I might be able to get in right now. The two comments I needed to make was, number one, for the AA and the ASs, I think I'm getting back in. I'm going to hang up.
There we go. All
Hi,
right.
I'm really sorry that that happened. I'm really sorry that that happened. The two things I wanted to comment on, and I'm going to make sure, can you see my file right now?
Yeah, that doesn't need to be updated.
Yes.
Is the intervals. Thank you. I have some fans that are happy that I'm back. The classes that are intervals here. Do you see where it says life science 3 to 4, physical science 3 to 5, math 3 to 5? So what I wanted to comment on is we have to ensure that if you are choosing a specific course, that it meets the minimum to reach the degree to 60 credit hours. We did have a couple come in that Susie caught, that the class that was chosen brought it down to like 59 credit hours. The other issue is if you leave it open to say life science elective, the student has the option to pick that lower end range. So if they pick lower end range in life science and in physical science and in math, and they quite possibly may do that because, you know, for various reasons they might do that. But they would actually then come in under the 60 credit hours. So just be cognizant of the fact that it is possible that if we just leave this open, that the student would pick the lower end range. And if that's the case, we would have to add in some elective hours, maybe in the 4th semester, to make sure they get up to 60. Does that make sense to everyone? Jill said yes. Michael, did you have a comment on that at all?
No, that's right. I mean, no, don't. I was starting. I turned on my mic to say yes, and then I decided.
Okay.
Because you asked if anybody understood it. If that's what you were wondering, why I had my mic.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that credit hours are up to 60.
Right. Yeah, that's and it is something you have to watch, because I've had students who have, you know, made a change and then suddenly got a thing that they're not graduating, where they just did it on their own. So yeah, that's when they're not always going to think of that. You know, they just think, well, I need a math class, right? So they might not realize that switching from calculus to liberal arts math is going to make some changes on their credits.
The just, you know, that was the main first point I wanted to make. The second, if there's no other comments on that one, the second point I wanted to make on these templates is I have seen some with an additional column in between here, and I could try to pull up one. I know Jill had hers that had an additional column with a different curriculum listed at the top of the column and a check mark that showed that the class would fit not only into the curriculum that they're investigating, but also as a stackable credential in another curriculum. This I've seen mostly from AS. I'm going to pull up Jill's from Blackboard. And it was just, I just want people aware that this is an option. Give me 1 second to pull that up. I have not seen the curriculum map that had that on there until this month. I've seen mostly the AA and the ASs. But I want to show you what this looks like, and then the mapping committee, if you have input, you can do that as well. I'm gonna actually probably share my screen so you can see this. Give me 1 second to share my screen. Okay. Oh, so thank you, Jill, for allowing me to share yours. But do you see this additional column? So the map looks similar to what we've been looking at, semester one, what category it fits in, and then this additional column, which this is for a visual communication certificate. But I believe like the check mark would indicate that that particular class would also fit into these other two certificates, or you could put an AAS degree here as well. So I wanted to comment on that. And does anyone from the steering committee want to add something to that or make people aware of?
Sure. So this is a good opportunity to kind of indicate those stackable credentials within a degree program so that the student's aware of like other certificates they could be earning along the same time that they're working towards their degree.
Yes. So I need to go back to my. Okay, thank you. Jennifer said the HRT ones are like that from today, if you notice. But what I can say then is that's not in the template right now for the AAS. There are still some revisions that we're making on these templates with the steering committee. And that's one that we will need to investigate and discuss. But I believe they're on the AASs. It could be optional for an AA or AS. In my particular area, I have a certificate and a degree, so I could use that column to indicate if the student takes the class for the personal training certificate, the class also counts toward an Associate of Science in my area. Sue, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, my question is, and I don't know the answer to this, but for instance, in like the CIS area where I think courses can count for a lot of certificates simultaneously, and I'm wondering how that is configured when you've got situations like that. So in the VIC case, it's only one certificate and one degree, where in, I'm thinking CIS off the top of my head, there might be a couple of certificates one can work on at the same time. Jennifer may have a better understanding of than I do. I don't know how that's handled.
You couldn't put that many columns. I mean, unfortunately, as you know, we have like 70 courses and they don't all stack like that, or we wouldn't have 70 courses that we're dealing with trying to delete some of those. But even the basic CIS courses that would be in all the programs, there'd be no way to show it on one chart. You're right.
So my advice would be the department chair or coordinator can perhaps pick the best fit, or you could have something that the course is in other curriculum. Maybe you just have a column that says this is in other, like this isn't a degree in our area, check with an advisor, but maybe a best fit would work too. I could see the value of having that additional column. It's not on the template right now. We are working with Shelley and the steering committee to finalize all three of these templates, also to get the certificate. So just be aware that that might be an additional column on the AAS. Sorry, I'm not even on the right page here. This is the right slide here. The other thing I wanted to mention is you may be questioning, well, I already put my and making change template. We are working with the committee. The curriculum committee is going to be working on making sure that if there are changes to the template that are coming, that have been done this week or that are coming in the near future, that those will be reflected on the ones that have already been submitted to our curriculum committee and approved. I submitted mine in the fall, so if there's changes to the template post that approval, the curriculum committee will be working to ensure that older template is updated to what is finally finalized with the newer template. Anyone have comments or questions on those templates while we have the steering committee? I am going to post them in Blackboard for you to review. They will be under internal forms in Blackboard in the curriculum committee shell for you to review. or you can simply email Susie or I. We can email that to you as well. Maybe Susie will just email out the 3 templates we have right now. That'll give people a little bit longer time to review it. We want to make sure that they're looking good and that we're not forgetting anything. And it's taking a little bit of time to make those updates as people maybe find an error that could be improved upon. Susie?
Yes, I just wanted to say to keep in mind that we have to send in the templates to the Smart Catalog, to Watermark, for the online catalog. So we really don't want to have so many templates to choose from. You know, kind of keep it maybe 2 or 3 at the most.
Well, currently we have the AA, the AS, and the AAS. And then my assumption is there would be a different one for certificate. Is 4 too many?
No, I think 4 would be probably the most we should use.
And then, unfortunately, the only other thing I could think of is the GECC, but that might follow a similar template to the certificate. I'm not sure. It may have different boxes on the top for prereqs. Well, we could talk to the steering committee. Susie, you and I could talk with that steering committee to ensure that that's something we could work with. Okay. Susie and I will email those 3 templates out to the entire curriculum committee for review. If there's no other comments or questions, that is our last other item for the day. So I'll give you a minute to see if there's any other comments. I apologize for my couple of interruptions. Nellie, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to mention that there was one case with the AA where we were able to stack a certificate, and that was the education, was it early childhood education with one of the transfer paths, or their.
Yeah, it's the early childhood one, Nellie.
Yes.
Sorry to
Okay.
interrupt.
No, thank you. I couldn't remember which exact certificate. So, I mean, that's just another creative way to think of it. But yes, at the end, it should probably only be 4, and that would be AAS, and certificates.
Yes, and so we'll work, Nellie. We'll work with you to make sure that if people want that additional column for stackable credentials, that they can access that as well. On those templates. Okay, thank you. Anything else? All right, I apologize for the interruption in my internet going down. Thank you for your patience. But we will now motion to adjourn the curriculum committee at 3:55. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
Okay, thank you, everyone, and have a good day. I'm going to stop the recording now. Thank you. Susie, I don't think if anybody has, I think they're all gone. I'm going to call you on my cell phone, Susie. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Then I'll shut off this, make sure the recording is done and everything, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Let me give you a call.